everybody, I'm Delicia, and thanks for tuning into the Cigar Vixen channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing a special treat that I received from Privada Cigar Club in my last shipment. So this is a collaboration with Southern Draw Cigars. This one is the Habano version. There's a Connecticut and a Habano. And this one again is a special collaboration, exclusively aged, and it's only available through Privada Cigar Club. So for those of you who are not members of Privada and you're not happy that I'm doing a review that you can't have access to on a regular walk-in humidor, I'm sorry. I know I get those comments every so often, but I personally was really excited about this cigar because I love Southern Draw and I love Privada. And so when you put the two together, I was really happy to see that, and then also again to share that with the rest of you. So as far as I know, you can still join Privada Cigar Club, and it's worth every penny. It's very inexpensive, and you get amazing cigars delivered right to your door. So rather than go through and reinvent the wheel here, I'm just going to go ahead and read this beautiful description that Brian already created from Privada. And again, if you've already seen the video, me unboxing, I've already read this, so I apologize for repeating, but it's a nice stick. So here it says, Southern Draw Habano, Privada Cigar Club 2020 exclusive, aged 1 year. It says, Robert and Sharon Holt diligently worked with AJ Fernandez to produce the cigar you are now holding. About 12 months ago to date, the cigar was finished. Because Robert is such a perfectionist, he wanted the cigar to rest. I walked into El Titon de Bronze one day, and who greets me at the door? Robert Holt, a veteran of the armed forces, a proud American, and one of the nicest people you will ever meet. Robert has a big presence. You can tell he has seen a lot in his time, and that he is most likely the best version of himself he has ever been. He got into cigars working for Verizon in South and Central America, where he installed cell towers. He would hang with locals, which eventually got him into local rituals of smoking a cigar after dinner. Imagine that. From there, he was hooked. From what I understand, he had a lot of money in the market during the 2008 crash. This was not a fun time for anyone. When posed with the question of what the next chapter of his life would be, he chose cigars. I think I can speak for most of us in saying Southern Draw is possibly the best addition to boutique cigars we have seen in the past few years. That's what makes this so special. I asked them to make this for me about 15 months ago. I thought it was a long shot because they do not typically do this sort of thing, but they love Privada members so much for all the social media love you give them that they happily agreed. So here we are, our own Southern Draw exclusive. Not too shabby. They're actually two different releases. We have about 4,000 of each. We are giving some members the Connecticut shade and some members the Habano. Thankfully, we have enough left over to put on the shop on our website. So if you want to try the other blend, that won't be a problem. The Churchill is a favorite size of most cigar connoisseurs, so we thought, why not? The blends are undisclosed except for the wrappers, of course. So today I have the Habano. And, Brian gives a very elaborate tasting notes, which I'm trying to just do my own. I kind of have read through his, but I'm going to just do my own version, which won't be as pretty and elaborate, but we'll get to it. I'm actually going to do a punch, which I normally don't do a lot of, but for this beautiful Churchill size, I thought I would. It's kind of a weird little cutter. It doesn't pull the little piece of tobacco out with it, which is odd, but whatever. It did the trick. That's a nice little draw. I'm so used to just a straight, guillotine cut that when I do a punch, it's kind of like something different. And for those of you wondering what the difference is, if you're newer to smoking or you're just kind of like, I've had that question of when to do a straight cut, when to do a V cut, punch, stuff like that. It's personal preference. It depends kind of on the vitola. It also depends on sometimes the cigar itself. Certain cigars you might start with the punch and it might not be enough of a give or enough draw. So you might have to then do a straight cut, which I don't recommend because sometimes you can mess up the head of your cigar if you're not careful. But really it just depends on the type of draw you prefer. Oh, that's just lovely. So cinnamon spice right away is what I pick up. There's a dab of that nutmeg that's kind of in there. It has a toast-like presence, sourdough type of a toast. I got that sting of spice there after a few seconds on the finish. The aroma is beautiful, almost like a graham cracker type of aroma. Baker spices mixed in there, really nice. But a beautiful amount of spice, so I'm picking up a cinnamon. However, on the finish, you can pick up kind of a ramped up version of that spice, almost like a green pepper, but it's on the finish alone. It's not when that first initial puff comes in. The first initial puff, again, is more of a cinnamon, but really nice. Yep, so I'm just kind of stuck with the whole sourdough toast, cinnamon. There's a little bit of an earthiness underlying. And then that kind of after the fact, there's that, just that pinch of kind of a green pepper spice. And then there's that little bit of sweetness that I just picked up. Again, kind of along the lines of a graham cracker-ish type of sweetness, not super strong. Definitely not like a candy-like or even a chocolate. More, again, just that subtle, like a tidbit of honey, if you will. So just a little bit of a nuance of that. So really nice. Again, beautiful Churchill size. Is a great way to enjoy your afternoon. If you have the time to sit with a Churchill, pour something nice and enjoy it. I mean, it's a beautiful vitola. I don't smoke them too often. In fact, I don't have a lot of Churchills in my humidor, but when I do get them, it's a real treat. So I'm gonna take my time and smoke this down, and I will definitely check back in probably right around the halfway point to talk about new flavors and what's going on with the cigar. All right, so coming back in about halfway, which is about, I want to say like 45 minutes or so in the halfway point. Really nice flavors, opening up to some leather, getting a nice amount of kind of like the cinnamon spice still, but there's a little bit of black pepper kind of mixed in with that spice. I mentioned leather, that, and then also anise. So I picked up a lot of anise, especially getting into the second, third, really towards the beginning of it. I was picking up that nice anise, but just a really easy smoke. I mean, again, being in the Churchill Vitola, it's one that you want to allow yourself plenty of time to sit down and enjoy it thoroughly. Definitely don't smoke it fast, but it's just a beautiful amount of flavors. It's a solid medium body. You can tell there's some age to it because it has a mellowness about it that those flavors, while you can taste them, they're somewhat subtle. That comes from that, longer aging process. So it's really nice. I'm enjoying it thoroughly. I'm going to continue to smoke it down. I'm guessing about, I don't know, another 35 minutes or so. It's a slower smoke, which is, again, nice to have the time to kind of forced time out, but just a beautiful afternoon to smoke this. So I'm going to continue anyways and check back in one last time for the last little bit. Okay, so coming back with actually a little bit left, but I was afraid I was going to start to run out of good lighting because it's taken a little bit longer to smoke through this one. Again, in that Churchill size, and then with the punch, it's going really nice for a personal experience, but for filming, it's taken a little bit longer than normal, but overall flavors have been great. I mean, this last little bit, it's almost like when I turned off the camera last time, it almost immediately picked up kind of a tangy citrus, and then developing, those notes into kind of a combination of still a bit of citrus. You could still taste the anise, and then it got a little bit more woodsy. So more on the cedar type of woodsiness. And then also little nuances of cocoa kind of came into play. So really nice and complex, very balanced, beautiful aging. I mean, you can taste it, the actual aged tobacco itself coming through. It's just a really nice experience. So it's smoked just lovely. No problems with the burn. Didn't have to relight it at all. Again, it's a longer smoke, so it's taken a little bit of time, but it's been a really nice experience, and definitely one that I would recommend. If you are a Privada member, then you probably have one in either your last shipment or one to come. If you're not yet, you could still sign up, and then you can probably, I don't know if you can order them individually or I think you can add them individually off of their website, but definitely check it out. It's a beautiful smoke, certainly one that if I would get as many as possible and just leave them in your humidor and kind of go through them slowly, because it's a really, really nice, elegant type of flavor profile, just beautiful. So highly recommended, again, if you can get your hands on it. And this has been the Habano version. As I mentioned in the beginning, there's also a Connecticut. So anyway, love to hear your feedback. If you are a member, if you've already received yours, if you smoked it, if you're waiting to smoke it, you know, what your thoughts were overall. But as always, I thank you so much for hanging out for a little bit with me, and I can't wait to see you next time. Cheers.